Hello and welcome to Programming in C++ series. In this video we're going to be going over some Chapter 5 labs or exercises. And Chapter 5 deals with control structures, Part 2, repetition. Alright. And the first exercise that we're going to be doing is programming in C++, Programming Exercise 5-1. Before we dip into that, don't forget, please go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Because as I said before, when you subscribe to the channel, it makes it easier for you to navigate throughout YouTube. And also it allows you to see when the channel posts new videos. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into our exercise. So we're going to write a program that prompts a user to input an integer and then outputs both the individual digits of the number, see example below, and the sum of the digits. The following variables names should be used and initialized to 0 where required. Num to hold the user input integer, digit to hold each respective digit of the integer, and sum to hold the sum of the digits in the integer. Initialized to 0, PWR, power, to hold the power of a digital, and of a digit, initialized to 0. And for example, it should output the individual digits of 3456 as 3456, 8030 as 8030, and so on as you get the pattern. So we're looking for task 1, correct output for positive number test cases, and then correct output for negative number test cases. So let's look at our code. And the first thing we need to do is add our include statement. And we're going to do, let's see, include, this is where we have IOStream. We'll do the C math. This is the only one we need to add for this exercise. So include C math. Then we can go down and do our cosmetics. And let's see what we got. So right here, we'll go under right main here. We'll just go down. And let's start with our integer. First one, it's going to be num. And then we'll do another integer. They said digit. Then we'll go down and do sum, and we'll initialize it to 0. Then we'll go down again, and we'll do power, PWR, and we'll initialize that to 0 as well. Let's get some more room to work with. All right. So next, let's start with our output. Out. Let's go enter an integer. So we come in with that. And we go cin. And we'll call that number or num. Then cout again. And this is going to inline. All right, quick look at that, make sure it looks good. So let's go on one more cout before we get to the next part. Let's go the digits of, start our statement. And the space, and we'll use num variable, and we'll use our output R, and then we'll leave space for that to answer, and semicolon. Now we're going to if the number is less than 0, 0, And let's go next line, tab, number equals negative number. Let's leave that one word. Okay. So now, let's see, we got on that line, and we'll just comment. So keep myself reminded that we want to find the highest power of 10 that divides a number. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go over to, let's do a while statement. Line back up with this if, while. Now this number is divided, and let's use our static cast, static underscore cast, I should say, and int. And let's go, comma and power, POW. Let's go POW. Now we have to do another open bracket. And that's going to be a 10.0, comma, and PWR for power. Alright. Now we got, I'm going to close two of these. And then on the outside there, let's make it greater than or equal to 10. Let's increment it on the next line by going power, PWR, plus plus, and semicolon. Alright, so everything looks good so far. Alright, so now let's go to another while. Now if the number is greater than 0, use some brackets for this one. And we'll do digit equals number, let's say asked. And then we'll divide it by static cast. And of course our int. Power again, POW, and then 10.0, comma, PWR, and we got two brackets closed, and that's all we need for that, and we'll semicolon. Alright, now let's see out, and we'll use digit, and just leave us space between these quotes so we can answer that question or get our digit that we're looking for. Alright, so far looks so good. So now let's go ahead and do sum equals sum plus the digit. And then let's go with num equals num. And we'll do percentage static cast again. And int. And let's go up POW 10.0. Just the exact same 10.0, comma, PWR, which covers all that. And then on the other side of those two closeouts, let's go ahead and semicolon that. And that should be one more thing. Gotta do our PWR minus semicolon. Alright, and that'll close out that while statement. Let's go ahead and get some room pretty much to work. So now let's go ahead and get out of here. Put down one, get another space. Let's do an if, and let's go PWR. not equal to, it's not equal to -1. So either number is 0 or there are trailing zeros in the number. So that's what we're looking at for this line. So let's dip down and do a while. PWR is not equal to -1. Just like that. And let's do our brackets here for this while statement. Alright, and so let's see out 0. And let's say those one space between the oops, colon, and then power minus semicolon. Alright, so we can close that and we can start ending these lines. Let's go over to the if. Put out one more. And let's go out. Line. And let's go out, and let's go ahead and say the sum. The sum of the digits. And equal, colon, leave a space there, and let's go use the integer sum, a variable sum, which is an integer, and in line. Now, and just return 0 up. Skip our space, and that's all we need for this one. Let's go ahead and check our lines for errors real quick. So we started out line 2, we added a include CMath. Then we declared our variables, 2 integers, num and digit, and then we had 2 more, sum and power, which we initialized to 0. Then we went down, enter an integer, which is number in line, and then the digits of the number are space right there. If number's less than 0, number equals negative number. I'm going to find the highest power ranking of 10. So this is what our static cast int power 10.0 does for us. PWR, and there's our semicolon, since that's on the while. That's on the while. All right, looks like we're ready to run this baby. Let's see what we got. So we got to put a number in. We'll go with 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to. Enter. 3, 4, 5, 6. The sum is 18. All right, sounds simple enough. So let's go ahead and see if we completed that correctly. I'm sure I'll flash you the code again while it's waiting on that. So here we are, line 2, include CMath. We're down to 21. If you need more time with that, go ahead and pause it, as we're going to go down to the second half of the code. And it's both tabs are green, as kind of figured. So here's 22 to 41. If you need more time with that, go ahead and pause. And there we go. Rest of the code. There's our 2 green tasks, and there's our 100%. So alright, so we'll go ahead and jump on to the next one right after this. Programming in C++, programming exercise 5-2. So in this one, the value of pi can be approximated by using the following series. Now the program in the main CPP uses this series to find the approximate value of pi. However, the statements are in the incorrect order, and there is also a bug in this program. Rearrange the statements and remove the bug so that this program can be used to approximate pi. So let's go ahead and do it. So, alright, so we'll go down and line by line. IO stream include an IO manip. There's nothing wrong with that. Use a namespace std, of course, we need that. An int main. So we go double pi, and it's initialized to 0. We don't need to do that. So let's go ahead and remove that, but keep the double pi intact. Then the long I, long N, nothing wrong with that. So next, let's see what we got here. This cancel in, let's cancel out before we cancel in, or see out before we see in, and enter the value of n. So let's move this up to the line before. So what I like to do, if you use the control X, and then the control V where you want to put it, and you'll put it in the right area. Alright, so now cancel out, cancel in, and then you want to inline, so we could just bring this up there. Alright, so those, so far it looks good from line, I'll show you again, line 1 to 14, take a good look at that. That's correct. And we'll move on. So now we can do our pi equals 0. If it's on here, if not, here it is. We'll use this one. Let's move these down some more. So let's get our pi equals 0. And remember, it is indented. What's already, now we'll leave that one. Let's leave that right there. Let's just go ahead and put in pi equals 0. Actually, yeah, we'll use this. Pi equals 0. We'll use my control X again. Go down to line 16. The same indent as everything else so far. Let's go pi equals 0. And then start our for statement. It's going to come first. So for I equals 0, and I less than n, and then I plus plus, followed by the brackets. Let's just do the for, leave the brackets alone. So it's control X, go to line 18, and control V. Now we're going to need to get blank. One of these. Let's use this. But we don't need that. Let's see, this line is up. Control. So here, let's go. Let's go if I percentage of 2 equal. Let's move this up to our first line in our brackets. Control X here. Control V here. Now let's go pi. Let's move this out of the way. We might need this later. Control X down here somewhere. Control V. But we do need, let's see, we're going to do plus 1 divided by 2 times I plus 1. Let's go ahead with this one. Control X. Let's do an indent from here. Control V. So that goes with that if. Let's find that our else, because we need an else after this if. Go right here. So here's our else. And it's pi equals pi minus 1.0 divided by 2 times I plus 1. So what we'll do is, since these are doubles, Control X, and this goes, let's go Control V, put that back. Let's do the whole else with this. Control X. It's going to go right here. Don't skip a line, don't need to skip. The else lines up, but this needs to be indented. That. Now, yeah, let's change these to 1.0. These ones, just the first ones. All right. So now, let's see. Else, we can close this for statement. There's 4. And let's go pi equals 4 times pi. Let's go Control X. And let us indent this. No, let's keep it on the same as this, everything else. Start a new line, new statement. So next, let's cancel out. I don't know what this is. We'll make it right. That's supposed to be one of the bugs. This makes no sense. Got it, but let's cancel out and we'll delete what we use. We'll make it simple. So we want this pi. Yeah, we want this pi equals that, and a pi, and then the inline at the end. No inline right there. That's ridiculous. So Control X right there, and put this right there, and that's up, and we can just get rid of this. It looks like we got this one licked. So let's go ahead and move this up. One more line. There we go. All right. So let's look at our code again. From 1 to line 21. Everything is good. We got the double, we got the long, we got the n. Enter the value of n. N is the variable. And line pi 0. Alright, so it looks like that's good. And then the last bit, if you still need time with it, if you still need time with it, you can go ahead and pause it. I'm going to go ahead and run it. And enter the value for n. Let's see. 3.4667. Alright, so let's go ahead and calculate that grade and see if we got it good. Let's move this out the way again. Just look at the code while it calculates. Once again, the line 1 to 21. If you need more time, go ahead and pause it. And then the last half. Alright, so wait for it to calculate, and it's good to go. Task 1 is good, and you got 100%. So you can go ahead and submit that if you got it. If you need more time, once again, go ahead and pause it from 1 to 21. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause that, as we're going to go ahead on to our next exercise. Programming in C++, programming exercise 5-3. And this one, the program telephone digits outputs only telephone digits that correspond to uppercase letters. Rewrite the program so that it processes both uppercase and lowercase letters and outputs the corresponding telegraph digit. If the input is something other than an uppercase or lowercase letter, the program must output an appropriate error message. The error message should contain the phrase invalid input. So task 1, correct the output for lowercase letters test cases, and correct output for lowercase and uppercase letters test cases. Alright, so this one, so we go to the top. We don't need to add any more include statements. IOStream was sufficient. And our variables, letter, and then as a character, and then our integers are digit and number. That's correct. And then here, program to convert letters. Let's do like this. Delete that. Convert letters to there. Put there up here. And then let's leave a space after that. And let's remove this there. Still the same. Corresponding telephone digits. That's fine, and inline. Next, to stop the program, enter pound. Inline. That looks good. Next, see out, enter, let's just go enter a letter. So see out, enter a letter. That's good. And let's use the variable letter, which is she's in C out. We don't need that C in. She's a character letter, semicolon. And let's get rid of this here. So, and we don't need this. Then. So we got rid of that semicolon, and there you have it. So on down to, let's go 25. Letter is not equal to pound. Good to go. And then letter, same thing, letter, it's good. And then I can say the same, corresponding telephone digit, space, looks good still. On down to line 30, let's go with number, static cast int, letter, and then negative static cast int, and we'll do the capital A, semicolon, and if, so we left out a bracket here, if 0, let's put another bracket here, 0 is less than or equal to the number, double ampersand, number is, let's go, greater than, or less than or equal to, oops, less than or equal to, we don't need that. Let's go with the first if. So the first if, let's go simplify it. Let's go simple. Why is there a line here? We'll just bring this up. That's why. Okay, got it. So if, just gonna type it up, get this be, if number is greater than 25, then before we get to that if, so we're gonna do two ifs. So it's the number equals number minus 32. So, now we gotta do one more if above this bracket. So this is the if statement that's gonna go with this one. So why is this one here? I'm gonna make it represent. Let's go if 0 is less than or equal to the number double ampersand, and the number is less than or equal to 26, not 25, 26, 25. So this is 32. All right. So now we're inside here, and digit equals number divided by 3 plus 2. And then if 1, 2, 3, number divided by 3 is equal to 6, and number divided by 3 is equal to 7, and number percentage of 3 equal to 0. So digit equals digit minus 1. And then this one, if digit is greater than 9, digit equals 9. Alright, so there's two if statements, and then let's close it out by saying cancel out digit in line, and then let's close it out with a then started else. That looks good. Invalid input can go there in line, and then C out is else, and enter another uppercase. Space, and all this is going to be one long line, but we can do letter to find its corresponding space, telephone digit, period, and then inline, and then C out again to stop the program. Enter pound. That looks good. Inline, and enter a letter. Okay, nothing wrong with that. And there's your letter, CN, and C out inline. And then end the while statement and return 0. All right, that looks good. So let's go ahead and let you look at that with the statement on top. So nothing to add until we got our characters are the same. But let's go ahead and look at, we didn't change anything to line 16. So 16 to 35, you can look at that. If you need more time, go ahead and hit the pause. And then 34 to 50, let's go 32 to 51. If you need more time, go ahead and hit the pause. Go down to the last of it. All right, so there we go. So let's go ahead and run this. If you need more time, hit the pause and we'll run it. Enter a letter, C. Corresponding telephone digit is 2. Enter a letter, B. All right, so let's go ahead and calculate this grade while we look at the code again. So if you're still needing to get that right, this is what we got. Go ahead and pause it while we go down. And once again, if you need more time with it, go ahead and pause that. This is the end of it. And that's what we got. Right, we got our 2 green checks. And we calculated 100. And everything looks good. And if you need one more look at the code, I'll be glad to oblige. Start there. Go ahead and pause it if you need help through 20. And from 22 to the middle to 40. If you need help with that or more time, go ahead and pause it. Then for the last part of the code, there you go. All right, so we're going to go on to our next exercise. But first, let's take a quick break and check this out. Programming in C++, programming exercise 5-4. Let's go and see what we got. All right. To make telephone numbers easier to remember, some companies use letters to show numbers. Let's get this down so we can read it. To show their telephone number, for example, using letters, the telephone number 438-5626 can be shown as get loan. In some cases, to make a telephone number meaningful, companies might use more than 7 letters. For example, 225-5466 can be displayed as call home, which uses 8 letters instead of 7, of course. So instructions: write a program that prompts the user to enter a telephone number expressed in letters and outputs the corresponding telephone number in digits. If the user enters more than 7 letters, then process only the first 7 letters. Also output the hyphen after the 3rd digit. Allow the user to use both uppercase and lowercase letters as well as spaces between the words. Moreover, your program should process as many telephone numbers as the user wants. So here's the code on your telephone dial. 1 is nothing, 2 is ABC, 3 is DEF, and so on. The program should accept input and produce output similar to the example program execution below. Enter Y or Y to convert a telephone number from letters to digits. Enter any other letter to terminate the program. Y. Enter a telephone number using letters. Hello world. The corresponding telephone number is 435-5696. To process another telephone number, enter Y, capital Y / lowercase y. Enter any other letter to terminate the program. Correct output for a single letter entry. Correct output for multiple letter entry. All right, so let's see what we got. Got a lot of code, right? Well, let's get to it. First thing we want to do, let's get some more, a little bit bigger. And let's go ahead and do our include statement that we'll need. So let's go include, we'll need our string. And let's go to our thing cosmetic. And let's get some room to work. Back there. First thing, first variable is going to be character or char. And it's going to be letter, semicolon right there. Then we have an integer. Call that number of letters. Let's just go with no of letters, semicolon, and another character response. Semicolon there. Now let's go our C out, and we're going to have a long one. So let's break it down to, oops, enter, capital Y slash lowercase y as directed, to convert a telephone number. Remember, let's leave the space there as we're going to just continue on the next line. From. So of course we have a space here, so we're going to need a space there because we're just continuing that. Letters to digits. And then let's go period and / n. And that should close that one out. And then lastly, let's go ahead and do this one. Enter any other letter, terminate the program. And then this one we'll use a period, and then we'll just go ahead and end the line for real this time. Semicolon. All right. So we got next. Let's go all the way over. And let's go response. Use our variable. And then let's go ahead and put a wow. Wow. And let's go response. So equals, the response is capital Y. Oops, use these quotes, capital Y. And, that's or. Response is lowercase y. Alright, so that's the while, so let's go ahead with our brackets. This is equals. Lowercase y, that's more like it. Alright, so let's do our brackets. And let's go. Enter telephone number using letters. Using letters. And let's see in letter. And let's cancel out or see out. Console inline. Alright, so, and we'll leave that open because we got some more work to do because we have to use the number of letters. Now we initialize that to 0. And let's go T C out. Let's go. The corresponding telephone number is to stay inside that bracket. We're going to start another one with another while statement. So we'll while. Okay, while number of letters greater than 7. So let's get this bracket down. Number of letters. There we go. Greater than 7. So we'll use more brackets for this one. And we'll do the increment. Plus plus. And let's run a switch here. And go with letter. Right, so let's take a closer look at that. So we're going to have to do some switch letter. Let's do another bracket. And we have to put these in manually for these cases. Let's do, we don't have to indent on the cases, so let's do case, space, lowercase a, case, space, lowercase b. These gotta have colons after them. That's why I didn't do it. Colon. There we go. Colon. Give some room so you can see what we're doing. So we're gonna have to do so many of these. Case, space, C, colon. No, you're gonna go outside of that. Colon. Alright, so now we'll do the same thing. Let's copy and paste these and make them capital. So let's go capital A, capital B, capital C. Alright, so good thing we got ours. And we'll do, okay, let's do count out. So these are all that's going to be represent number 2. So we're going to do C-O-U-T and 2. And here we'll use a semicolon. So next we got to do for number 3 and so on. But after each one, let's do a break. And semicolon. So now I got the easy work to do now. So take this. Copy that, go to this line, and boom. So now we change these to DEF, DEF, D, B, F, and capital D, capital E. What would I do? capital E and capital F, and this number is going to be 3. We already got our break in there, so let's go down again. Let's go to this line, Control V, copy it. So next we have GHI. GHI, then guess what? Capital G, capital H. Oh man, I think I hit the wrong button. And it's not good. G, H, and capital I. Okay, fat fingering it. Let's go to number 4. Next. We're doing the whole alphabet, so if you want to get ahead of me, you can, but I'm going to go ahead and go to the right line, back one, and Control V, get those back, and JKL, J, K, L, and then a capital J, capital K, capital L. And this is number 5. Then break, enter over there, Control V, M, N, O, M, N, O, and then capital M, capital M, capital O. Number 6, and same thing, Control V, looks like we're on P, Q, R, and that'll be 7, P, Q, R, so capital Q, capital P, capital R, and that would be 7. Alright, we're getting there. Alright, let's get this down. So we got S, Q, R, S. Actually, let's add one more here. It has more, right? P, Q, R, S. Let's add an S in this one because there's an S in 6 or for 7. So case small s, semicolon, colon, and down here case capital S, colon. There we go. Now we're going to do T, U, V, and W, X, Y, Z. 9 has 4 as well. So that's all we're doing is adding those 4. Alright, so let's get to it. So there. So T, U, V, T, U, V, and capital T, capital U, capital V, and that's number 8. And since we got 4 on this one, let's use this one this time. Break, P, Q, R, S, and then count 7, count 9. Alright, so let's do this. Alright, copy that. You can do the other one, just add one, or you can just do the one that already has 4. Because number 9 has 4. And is you do W, X, Y, Z. W, X, Y, Z. Capital W, capital X, capital Y, capital Z. Alright, so that's 9. And there's no break there, but there's a bracket. Let's bring this bracket up. Close out that. But we can if right underneath here. Let's do that if no number of letters equals 3. And let's go down and let's tab over, see outs, that dash that they talked about, and we'll leave it in between these quotes, and we'll semicolon that, and then we will do one more. Let's CN under the if, and let's use our letter variable. Alright, now we got that. Now we have, we're going to do, let's go here, drop down to, and let's do our CIN dot ignore. And then we're going to do, so if we got to ignore anything after 7 letters, 100, and then let's use this. No. And we'll use a semicolon inside there. And then let's kind of see out. Into process another telephone number. Enter, so either one, capital Y slash lowercase y, and then backspace in. So that's that, and let's go ahead and continue this next line. Enter any other letter to terminate program. Got some spelling there. Yeah. And this line, correct our spelling. Terminate. That is correct. Process another telephone number, comma, enter, yes. Alright, so after that, let's get our variable CN response. Finally ended this while statement right there, and then we have one more bracket somewhere return there it is, CG up here, and that's it. So let's go ahead and go over this. So first thing we did include include statement with include string on line 2. We got variables. Letter, number of letters, respond, enter Y to convert a telephone number, from letters to digits, enter any other letter to terminate the program, enter a telephone number using letters. The corresponding telephone number is number of letters plus plus, and then we went all the way down A, B, C, D, F, G. Those look good. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 will be okay. Let's go ahead and run this, and then I'll show you the code again if you need more time with it. We'll make sure it runs properly. Okay, telephone number. Enter Y to convert it to Y. What the H, Y. So Y, enter. Then enter enough. Enter a telephone number using letters. All right, letters. Go fish. There we go. All right, let's calculate this, and then we'll show you the code. If we get our green, the thing looks good. It's pretty cut simple once we get those cases done. Really cut and dry, I should say. But let's give it a shot, and then I'll show you the code, but right after this. All right, you see we got green and we got a 100%, so let's go ahead and show this code one more time. So from line 1 to line 21, just take a good look, and if you need more time, as always, go ahead and pause it. And we're going to scroll down to 22 to 41 as we're doing A, B, and C on the cases. And as well, if you need more time for that, go ahead and pause that as well. So we're going to go down to 42 to 61. DEF, GHI, JKL. You know, under 61, it's going to continue. Go ahead and pause that if you need to look more at it. So let's stop here at J underneath the break. So you see 5, 6, and 7, 7. And your PQRS. And your these are out of order, but it didn't matter because guess what? They all mean 7. So you want to put them in order so that we can remember to catch everything, and we did. Just transpose the Q and P. But he said still got it right. So all right. So if you need more time on those, go ahead and pause it as we scroll down to 85, which is T, UV, and W, X, Y, and Z, and then RC out number 9, and then if statement, number of letters equals 3. If you need more time, go ahead and pause it, so we're ready to scroll again. And that's the end of it. So there you have it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and smash the like button. Leave a quick comment. If you've seen something different or want to add something to it, please enter in the comments. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. All right, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for joining. This is exercise 5-1 through exercise 5-4. All right, so take care. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again. And we'll leave you with the code for a few more minutes.